This next song is one that Matthew, my husband, thought I should do because it's the first band I was in New York, and it was like a sort of a pop punk. Nervus was the name of the group. They were New Wave, they were called actually, and it's from that CBGB scene. So this is from the first thing that we recorded, and it's called "Don't Look at Me That Way." And it was a really good single. And then when we recorded it on the album, it really didn't turn out as well because they decided to change it to like a sort of a pseudo-reggae type thing, which didn't really work. But, you know, it was a crazy time, and we went to LA to record with like Mike Chapman, who was, you know, this big deal producer. He worked with Blondie and Pat Benatar. And he's a nice enough guy, but, you know, pretty crazy. Like, he saw us play at CBGB's one night because the guys from Blondie, who were our friends, you know, brought him down there. They were drinking after a session or something, as usual. And, and so, you know, this crazy guy with an Australian accent comes backstage and he's going, "I'm going to put you on the charts. I'm going to make you stars." And I looked at him and I went, "Okay." And then I went to my drummer and I went, "Hey, Jonathan, who is this guy?" "Oh, it's Mike Chapman." "Oh. Okay." And so it was like, okay, sure. I always went along with whatever. I'd think whatever in my mind, but I had the sense to not overstep my bounds usually. But this is a song that Sean wrote and sang, and I did backups and rhythm guitar. So now I'm going to do the whole thing without even looking at words. So it's "Don't Look at Me That Way." 1, 2, 3, 4. What would you do? Use common nouns to start with. 4 flowers, talk for hours. Maybe something I said once that came back to her today. If it was you, what would you do? How do you think I feel? Oh, you say nothing, I'll say something. Don't look, don't look, don't look at me. Don't look at me that way, don't look at me that way. Don't look, don't look, don't look at me. Don't look at me that way, don't look at me that way. Look at me that way, look at me that way. I don't think that she heard me. I don't think that she just heard. If it was you, what would you do? What if I come back later? What's the matter? What's the matter? If I turn the channel, if I count my fingers, if I whisper softly, but the moment lingers, then you'll hear me asking, hear me shouting, hear me laughing. Don't look, don't look, don't look at me. Don't look at me that way, don't look at me that way. Don't look, don't look, don't look at me. Don't look at me that way.